You ever record a whole video, or at least half the video, and realize that the audio wasn't recording? But that's what your boy just did. Do you want to get more loudness out of your mixes? You want them to be thumping? You want them to be bumping? You want to do it? You tired of your mixes showing up limp next to, one of the mainstream mixes that they have, playing on the radio and you streaming and all that stuff? If you tired of your mixes sounding like your mix name is Limp Mix It, then you need to add a limiter. What up, yo? This your boy, Wavy to the mother Wayne. It's your boy, Wavy Wayne, all right? And I'm here to talk a little bit today about how we can get our mixes to be louder. Now, why do we want our mixes to be louder? Because, man, we automatically equate loudness as goodness, right? If one mix is quieter than the other, we as humans, our perception is going to be like, yo, the louder mix is better. Now, that's not always the case, and I want y'all to be very, very careful with this technique, because it's very easy to go too far with squashing your mix with a limiter, and you get all kind of distortion and stuff like that. And we don't want distortion and stuff like that. We just want our mix to get a little more volume, get a little more oomph, right? And I always use a limiter, right? Even on my rough mixes, before a client leaves the studio, I make sure I slap a limiter on there, just so they don't have to, think twice or second guess why they mix is quieter than what they used to listening to from, mainstream records, all right? So I always, give it that little limiter on the master fader, just to ensure that the record is up to par in volume with everything. So here's a couple of techniques that I use when I'm using limiter, right? Well, I often will apply the limiter about midway through my mix. Like as I'm mixing, once I get a good level and balance, right, then I'll go ahead and slap my L2 on that master fader and do what I'm gonna do with it, and then continue to finish the mix. Now the reason I do that is that L2 does have a color on it, right? And depending on which limiter, you might be using the Maxim limiter, the L2 limiter. That's a bunch of limiters. I like the L2, but I'm gonna go through the L2 and the Maxim. But the L2 does have some color, right? And it basically changes the shape of the mix. It just changes the mix, man. So I realized that if I apply it at the end of my mix after I'm done mixing, I might not like how it sounds, right? So I'll apply it, early on in the mix, and that way I can kind of mix into it, right? Do anybody else do that? Leave a comment below. Let me know if you do that same thing, all right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the L2, and then we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Maxim limiter as well, all right? So again, you want to apply this on the master fader, right? And if you're doing other processing, EQing and stuff like that, do all that first, and then let the limiter be the last thing on your master fader, okay? So when I'm looking at my L2, it's pretty simple, as you see, man. We got threshold, we got an output ceiling, and we got the release time, okay? Now, most of the time, I ain't gonna even front you. Most of the time, I keep my my release on this little auto, this ARC. I keep that on most of the time, unless I realize that it's not working, and then I'll turn it off and do a manual release time. Other than that, I'll let it go ahead and have an automatic release, okay? Now, the threshold and the output ceiling, the very first thing that I'll do on the limiter before I even play the record is turn the output ceiling down to negative 0.1. That is a major key right there, because if we hitting 0, 0 is the clipping, right? That's the digital overs. That's the digital, we going too damn loud if we hitting 0 and over 0 plus 1 and all of that. So anything over 0 is going to be clipping. So I set my ceiling, which is the, basically no sounds are going to be louder than this. No sounds are getting past this ceiling at negative 0.1. That's the loudest I can get without clipping. And then I got the threshold. The threshold is at which point are we going to start to attenuate those the peaks in the signal, right? How much squashing are we going to do with this limiter, right? And typically when I'm looking at the attenuation meter over here, right? So you got the attenuation meter on the right side. Typically what I look for on this attenuation meter is to get about -4 dB of attenuation, somewhere around there. Typically, if I'm getting too much more than that, then, you know, I might be getting into dangerous territory over there. But ultimately, you just got to use your ears. And as the song is playing in the loudest part, you definitely want to do this on the loudest part of your record. As the song is playing in the loudest part, start to bring that threshold down, right? And as you bring it down, I usually get to the point to where I can actually hear it kind of being squashed a little bit, and then I'll back it up just a little bit of there, because again, I'm trying to get the maximum loudness as possible. So let's hear what we got here. Sorry, I'm about to put y'all through this. This that wavy auto tune session that I was rocking with. Shout out to the noisy neighbors. All right. Hear the difference. Make sure that you like and comment. If you love this song, how could I go wrong when I'm singing in the booth with a little auto tune? This is so much fun. Okay. See, that's a little much. I'm backing it off now. Hear the difference. Make sure that you like and comment if you love this song. All right, let's preview it without the limiter, and then I'm gonna bring it in. Hear the difference. You can even tell by looking at the meters how much louder this gets. How could I go wrong when I'm singing in the booth with a little right? And it's just that simple. That's using that L2. Again, that's a Waves plugin, but you can do that same exact thing with Maxim, which is included with your Pro Tools straight out the box. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So I'm just gonna swap this out for Maximum. To swap out plugin, just hit a little dot to the left there. I'm gonna go to Dynamics, and I'm gonna go to Maxim. Okay. Now Maxim, you see that it pretty much has a lot of the same features here. It's got a ceiling and a threshold, right? And I definitely do the same thing. In my ceiling, I'm gonna set it to -0.1, and then I'm going to start to attenuate, bring my threshold down until I hear it squashing, right? And I'm also looking at my attenuation meter, making sure I'm not getting too much more than about 4 dB, or if that, you know, of attenuation. So let's go ahead and listen to that. Yeah, we just get started. It's all party. And you know I'm getting turned up. And you know I'm getting turned up. Yeah, we just getting started. It's all and they got the release over here. Yeah, we just getting started. It's all party. And you know I'm getting turned before. Right? And so that's just a quick and easy way to get more overall loudness out your mix. Again, I do a little bit of limiting on every single thing before I bounce it down out of my Pro Tools, just to make sure that my mixes ain't falling up limp. Right? I don't want nobody calling me limp mix it. Get it? Limp mix it. Was that funny or no? Funny or no? Leave a comment below. Let me know. Funny or no? Funny or no? Funny or no? Yo, check out the store though, man. Support your boy. If I'm your boy, if you like what you getting from this channel, support your boy. Copy one of these t-shirts. Copy one of them templates or something, man. Leave a comment below. Let me know what else y'all want to see that I ain't giving you. Alright? It's your boy Wavy Wayne. Thank y'all for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Make sure you like and comment and all that good stuff. And be dope.